Hi everyone, it's me Bon, and here's the fixing of the revision of the philosophy video that I did yesterday. So yesterday's video didn't really meet the standards, so in today's video I'm going to try and remake it based on my notes as well as make it up to standard. So firstly, I'm going to review what I covered in the last video. So the theory of that the number is the rule of forms and the ruler of ideas is made by a man called Pythagoras, which he didn't really leave a lot of evidence about himself, as in when he was born, when he died, but basically he created an academy when he was 40-year-old named Pythagoras, and he taught his students there that math and logic is basically everything. So his train of thought followed. Everything in the universe conforms to the math rules and ratios, which means that the numbers are the rules of the forms. After that, if we can understand the math relationships, we can understand the structure of how the universe started, or as in stuff like physics, gravity, etc. Then after this, we can conclude that math is the key model for philosophies and thinking, which is why the number is the ruler of ideas. So I think that this train of thought is very logical, but there's one thing that even science can explain, and that is the creation of matter. I think that before the Big Bang, I'm still wondering where the matter for the Big Bang was. Was it just stored in nothingness? Because as science books depict, before the Big Bang, there was basically just nothing. So how did the Big Bang happen? What ignited it? And how did it even start? Is my question. So that's the one flaw that I find in his thinking. So all of these, including items like a squared plus b squared equals c squared, it's basically saying 1 plus 1 equals 2, but you have to follow its train of thought. It's like the cause and effect. If you eat too much candy, you'll have cavities, for example. So all of these are factors that make up and rule and central the stars and elements, as well as stuff like architecture, our daily lives, etc. For example, in our daily lives, we have stuff like baking or making food. We have to understand why the heat takes that long to cook our food, why we shouldn't just roast it alive, why we should add a specific herb or spice to make it taste and feel better, look better. And for example, architecture, why do we have to add 2 extra pillars to make a house stable? Why do we have to have a light here and a light switch there instead of a light switch here and a light there? So that's a lot of examples based on this guy's philosophy. Also, in the stars and elements section, I think that stars and elements, since humans are really small compared to them, we haven't really understood their entire thing. For example, we can't just look at the entire sun at once. That is why I think that the stars and elements part is still a bit lacking, because we have a limit on how much we can observe at once. So, in conclusion, in this video's philosophy update, I've been trying to cover more of what I didn't cover last time, and I've also come to understand that this guy's the Pythagoras person philosophy is good, but there are a few major flaws considering our universe. So it's not really a reliable one if we want to talk outside the universe, but if it's in our Earth, in our daily lives, in our studies, etc., I think it's a very reliable and solid piece of philosophy. So that is all for my philosophy update and revision. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Bye.